Hello, captains. This is Metaman. Today we're looking at a ship, a Tier 9 1 million free XP ship, the Agir. Believe one of those I pronounced it correctly. Beginning of this battle, I'm going to go ahead and speed up until we get into position. Once again, I'm not going to be saying that, hey, this is a must-have ship. Hey, this is a ship you got to have. Nothing like that. I'm kind of a collector. I have many ships. I'm just going to say the things that I've seen so far that is good and the things that I've seen that are bad. Let's go ahead and start out with the bad, just because there is so few. If you might not be able to tell, I really do like the Agir. The things that are negative with the Agir is I don't like the HE, which is, I believe, the softest hitting out of any of the Tier 9 super cruisers. I believe it's at 3,650. And another flaw, I wouldn't call it a flaw, but thing that isn't as strong as some of the other super cruisers is it does not have radar. But to counteract that, you do have great German hydro, which is the 6 km hydro. And I think that it fits its role better with that hydro. I believe I have the Kronstadt, the Alaska, the Azuma. At Tier 10, I have the Yoshino, the Moskva. The things that kind of contradict, as in, one thing I want you to look at. I'm going to keep talking about other things, but one thing I want you to pay attention to is my armor. As in, the thing that's unique about the Agir versus Kronstadt, even though it has really good armor. Alaska has thicker armor, belt armor. But what the Agir has is it has that now, did you see that? I hardly took any damage there. It has 190 belt armor, I believe, but it has 90 upper belt armor. And right there, hardly took any more damage. Now, that is only a Riga hitting me, but you're going to see some battleships hit me also. But the thing with the Agir is that 90 upper belt armor, quite often, say when you're not being lazy, but say when you're in a battleship and you don't think you're going to get a good enough angle on the normal torpedo belt, the normal side belt, you're going to aim high, or at least I do. And I'm going to aim high because I know I'm going to be able to bust through that side armor, that upper belt. But in the Agir, if someone's not paying attention to what your armor is, which is 90 upper belt, they're going to be hitting that, and they're going to be bouncing. Now watch this Kansas. The Kansas has 406s. What I do in the Agir is I try to tease them and let them try to hit me in that side, because if they hit me in my nose, it's only 27 millimeters. But if they hit me in that side, which I give them pretty flat side, now watch me rotate and watch how much damage I take. Not a lot. Not a lot. And he took 13,000. The advantages with the Agir is, besides the Siegfried, you have the hardest hitting AP at 9,100 per shell. Now, I did a test between the Kronstadt, the Alaska, and the Agir. I took them all into the training room and I set up battleships at 10 kilometers away. I rotated in between 11 kilometers and 9.5 kilometers. And they all started getting citadels at pretty close to the same distance. I should have checked them from 15 kilometers away to see what kind of damage I was still getting. I think the Agir and the Kronstadt would still be hitting just a little bit harder, as in the Alaska with the looping shots It seems good at the short range as in it falls into their citadel, but I think at the distance it would not quite have the same penetration. The Agir with that nice hydro instead of radar and that good AP kind of sets you up to be able to do a little bit more flanking. If you're flanking in the Alaska, you're taking out one of your main traits, which is your radar. So if you're flanking, you're not being able to radar those caps as well because you're taking yourself out of the game a little bit, going to the side. But with you not having radar and you having that good German hydro, and you do have better AA than even the Alaska, you're able to support your team with that hydro right here. I'm not really leading the team, but I am using that hydro to help spot where this DD is off to the side. But I'm not wanting to move too far off that side. We're going to end up getting lost and getting kited. You can see me tearing up these planes. But the thing with the Agir, with that side armor, you'll see me baiting a lot, me rotating. See, I was rotating there. Even if he's at that distance and he tries to go through my nose, if I rotate when he hits that side, he's going to bounce a lot, bounce off that upper belt armor also. But the tricks with the Agir, I believe, is you have that nice hydro. You're not going to have to worry about giving away too much from the team if you go up the side because, or try to flank because you're not giving up a radar. But you're able to support your team with a good hydro. When you get to those side shots, the only person that has better shell velocity than you is the Kronstadt, which, I'm talking tier 9, which makes a difference on being able to hit those moving targets. Now say and look at this rotation, I moved out of here. Now the Agir does have a bigger turning circle than say the Kronstadt even, and the Alaska, but it has better rudder shift. And so I use the rudder shift. I'm not trying to rotate all the way around. I'm using the rudder shift to make people miss, as in I want them aiming at my nose, then I'm going to give them my belt. I'm going to give them my side, then I'm going to end up rotating out and see right there, another bounce. And that's a battleship. And watch me just come up on him. That brings me up to one of the main advantages, let's say, with the Agir. Like I said, I'm not saying any of these ships are a must-have. I'm just saying with their play style, the things that I like with them. The Alaska, I do have her. I have a good win rate in her, but I feel that it's kind of a passive play style, except for you're just getting behind a rock. The Agir, where she is different than, say, the Kronstadt. Kronstadt, I feel, is in kind of a weird position because she has radar but really good AP, and if you flank with her, you kind of take your radar away. But the neat thing right here, I'm going to rotate again. Let's watch this AP come from a battleship. He's going to send out some AP. Nothing. But watch this. I'm going to send out my Torps, which is a main selling point, I believe, as in... But watch this salvo. It's going to be a 39,000 salvo. 4 citadels. I threw out these Torps. I didn't even need to. I didn't realize I was going to kill him with this. Right there. 39,000 in one salvo. But with these Torps, it lets you be a lot more aggressive. It doesn't make you be as passive. Say with the Alaska, if someone knows you're around a corner, they can still come around that corner. Or they don't have to worry about you coming into them. With the Agir, with those Torps, and with that armor, they're not going to be able to finish you very fast, and you're going to get those Torps off into them. So they gotta fear that. And so I like the Agir. I like her penetration on her secondaries also. It's 32 pen. You're not going to use those secondaries very often because it's only at 5.8, but I do like the penetration on it. I do like the right here, block that more shots hitting that upper belt. Now that might be because people aren't aware of that belt armor yet, but I like the AA. It does really well. I understand it's rated at like 87, but I feel like I swat down a lot of planes. I love the armor. I love that upper belt. I like her armor better than anybody's as the super cruisers. As in, watch here. There's another decent salvo, but I didn't get it off in there. I get to throw out these torps. Good night, sir. But I like the AA. I love the armor, and the rudder shift being a little better than the other ships, I think is really helpful, as in baiting them to shoot either your nose or your bow, and then getting them to switch over to your belt armor, or go from your belt armor and then baiting them to shoot there, and then you being able to rotate. And your superstructure really isn't that big. It's no bigger than the other guys. The Alaska actually stands taller, but this wasn't a monster game. I wanted to show more of how I use the armor and how I try to get those torpedoes off. But like I said, I do like her. I have all the super cruisers. I love them for different reasons, and I use them differently. Alaska is a really good ship. I'm definitely not saying she's better than Alaska, but I feel she's more fun, and that's just my opinion, subjective. But Alaska, I feel like I have to be kind of passive and just use my radars when I can. So this is Meta_Man 2002. Hopefully you enjoyed this is just a first impressions video. I haven't done an overall analysis of the ship yet, but we will see you in the up and coming days, and hopefully we'll see you next time.